Imagine this, you are watching a sunset. The sky is ablaze with colours, orange, pink, purple, each blending into the next like a masterpiece painted across the heavens. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself how you experience this? What is it that turns the play of light and colour into something so deeply personal, so profoundly moving? How do you go from wavelengths of light to a feeling of awe? This is the hard problem of consciousness, and it's a question that has baffled scientists, philosophers, and thinkers for centuries. Sure, we know the brain processes visual information. We understand how neurons fire, how signals travel, how patterns emerge. But none of this explains why you right now are aware of it. Why does it feel like anything at all to see the color red, to hear a song, or to feel the warmth of the sun on your skin? Take a moment to consider this. Your brain is a 1.4 kilogram lump of biological tissue made up of cells, chemicals, and electricity. And yet, somehow, it creates the rich inner world you live in every second of every day. It creates you. How? Why? Can you even fathom how strange this is? David Chalmers, the philosopher who coined the term the hard problem of consciousness, posed this challenge. Explaining the mechanics of the brain is one thing. That's the easy part. But explaining why those mechanics lead to subjective experience, that's the hard part, and it's so hard that some scientists wonder if we'll ever solve it. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine you're in a lab, you're hooked up to a machine that's mapping every neural signal in your brain. Scientists can tell exactly which neurons light up when you see the color blue. They know what's happening in your brain when you feel love, fear, or joy. But even if they could map every single connection in perfect detail, would they know what it feels like to be you? Or would your consciousness remain a mystery, something they can measure but never touch? And think about this. What if consciousness isn't something the brain produces at all? What if it's something more fundamental, like space, time, or matter? Some scientists and philosophers suggest that consciousness might be a basic building block of the universe, woven into the very fabric of reality. Does that sound comforting, or does it make you wonder if everything you think you know about existence is wrong? And what about artificial intelligence? We're building machines that can do incredible things, write poems, compose music, even mimic human conversation. But are these machines conscious, or are they just very clever simulations, hollow imitations of something they can never truly grasp? Could we ever create a robot that actually feels something? Or is consciousness something uniquely human, a spark that no algorithm can replicate? These questions aren't just intellectual exercises, they strike at the very heart of what it means to be alive. Because if we can't explain consciousness, can we truly understand ourselves? Are we just passengers in bodies we barely comprehend, acting out a play we didn't write on a stage we can't escape? Is life itself a grand illusion, a trick of the brain, a fleeting spark in an indifferent cosmos? Here's another unsettling thought. What if your consciousness isn't as unified as it seems? Neuroscience tells us that different parts of your brain handle different tasks. Vision, memory, language, emotion, all processed in separate regions, yet somehow stitched together into the seamless experience of you. But what happens when that stitching comes undone? People with certain brain injuries report feeling like they are no longer the same person they once were. Split brain patients, those whose brain hemispheres have been surgically separated, sometimes behave as if they have two separate streams of consciousness. So, who are you really? And how fragile is the sense of self you take for granted? Now let's zoom out. Think about the scale of the universe. We're on a tiny planet orbiting an average star in a galaxy among billions. In this vast cosmic theater, does your consciousness matter? Is it just an accident of evolution, a byproduct of survival? Or is it something more, a clue to the nature of reality itself? What if the universe is conscious in some way, and you are a fragment of that consciousness, experiencing itself for a brief moment in time? Does that idea comfort you, or does it make everything feel even more unsettling? And what about death? The end of consciousness is something we all fear, but do we even understand what that means? If your consciousness arises from your brain, does it simply vanish when your brain stops working? Is there an afterlife, a continuation, or does everything you are, your thoughts, your memories, your very sense of self, dissolve into nothingness. And if consciousness is fundamental, could it persist in some way we can't yet comprehend? Or is the idea of persistence just another illusion, a story we tell ourselves to cope with the unknown? The hard problem of consciousness doesn't just challenge our understanding of the brain, it challenges our understanding of everything. What is reality? Is it the physical world we can see and touch, or is it something deeper, something we can only glimpse through the lens of our own awareness? Are we explorers of an external universe, or prisoners of our own minds? And if reality is shaped by consciousness, does that mean it's subjective? Is your reality the same as mine? Or are we each living in a universe of our own making, isolated by the very thing that connects us? Think about dreams. When you're dreaming, your brain creates entire worlds, landscapes, people, stories. It feels real until you wake up. How do you know you're not dreaming right now? How do you know that what you experience as reality isn't just another construct of your mind? And if it is, what does that say about the nature of existence? In the end, the hard problem of consciousness leaves us with more questions than answers. What is consciousness? Where does it come from? Why does it exist? And perhaps the scariest question of all, what if we're not meant to know? What if the greatest mystery of existence is that it will always remain a mystery? What if the very act of questioning is what makes us human? What makes us conscious in the first place? So, what do you think? Is consciousness a puzzle we can solve, or is it an enigma we'll forever marvel at from the edges of understanding? Is it the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe, or is it a mirror reflecting back the infinite complexity of our own minds? Let us know your thoughts, and as always, keep asking questions, because maybe, just maybe, the questions are what make us truly alive.